Hey guys, welcome back to Premium Picks. Today we are going to break down UFC 300. It's a historic card, 12 former or current champions stacked top to bottom. Let's get right into it. First fight of the night, we got former champion Davison Figueiredo versus former champion Cody Garbrandt. It's actually a really good fight. Nobody is giving Garbrandt a chance here, and I think Garbrandt has all the tools in the world to technically win this fight. I mean, I think Garbrandt could still be in the title picture if he had IQ and if he had a chin. Unfortunately, he doesn't have IQ, and unfortunately, he doesn't have a chin. I believe this fight will play out on the feet. I don't think Davison's going to be able to take Garbrandt down, and I don't think Garbrandt's really going to wrestle a whole lot. I mean, maybe he should, but I don't think he will. So in a stand-up fight, I think Figueiredo has the better kicks. Garbrandt probably has the better hands, but he's got no chin. So eventually it's probably going to get caught. He's probably going to get knocked out. But if the odds get crazy enough, I'm going to pay attention to this closer in the week. I might stab Garbrandt if he gets to like that plus 500 territory, something like that. It would be worth a single. Definitely would not parlay him at all. What do you think?
The odds are a little wide at minus 334 for Figueiredo. Saying that, he didn't look out of place in the division in his first fight. He kind of, he looked like he was there, even though he was moving up. Um, Cody's exhibited a far better chin in his last couple fights, but they were low pace fights that he controlled the distance, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that here. Figueiredo should push to action. He is known to be a little bit low volume. But Garbrandt's a little bit low volume, so this actually might be a snoozer of a fight, to be honest with you. Garbrandt should wrestle, but if he does wrestle, he has to hit the pocket. If he hits the pocket, who knows what happens with Figueiredo, right? So I lean Figueiredo. I don't like the odds. Maybe later on in the week we'll get a prop or something like that. But Figueiredo by decision isn't so bad because they've both lately been slowing down fights, especially Garbrandt been really slowing down those fights. Like he's not throwing a hell of a lot of volume. He's trying to just control the distance and stuff like that. So yeah, Figueiredo by decision.
All right, moving on. We got Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. I think the only reason this fight is on the card is, I mean, they're two veterans. They're two legends in their own right. They're never going to be a champion. They never were close to being a champion, but they've been around forever. Jim Miller fought on UFC 200. I mean, like he's been around forever. So Bobby Green should have the hands here. He should have the boxing advantage. Jim Miller should definitely have the submission advantage, but he's not like a power wrestler, so I'm not positive he's going to be able to get Bobby Green down. Obviously, Bobby Green's shown his chin might be cracked a little bit, but I mean, Jalen Turner hits hard as hell. Jim Miller's not going to hit him anywhere near as hard as that. This is, for some reason, this is a trickier fight for me to pick a winner than it should be, but I'm going to say Bobby Green should have the better hands here. Bobby Green by decision? What do you think?
I think Bobby Green by decision is a good pick, actually. So Bobby, he's known as a decision fighter, but he's actually been going for it these last couple fights. That fight against Grant Dawson was pretty good. Knocked him out in the first round. So Jimmy Miller, I was on him against Hernandez. Didn't like the way he came out, and maybe he is slowing down. I mean, the one thing about Jim Miller is that he's always going to give you an effort. He's always going to go for it. The volume's never been the greatest, so I think if Bobby can stay at range here, use his striking, he's probably the faster guy at this point in their careers. Probably throws them more output. He's shown a good chin. Jim's going to come. Um, yeah, I think Bobby Green by volume. Bobby Green will just outwork Jim, and Jim does slow down. As much as I love him, he does slow down as the fight goes on, right? And he's never been the hugest of volume guys. He's a finisher. Jim Miller by finish is completely on the table here. But if you want to go that way, I would just take him by finish. I don't think he wins a decision here, though. So Bobby Green by decision.
All right, moving on. Our first women's MMA fight of the night. We've got former champion Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. I feel really good about this spot. Maybe a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I think Marina Rodriguez is going to knock her out. Clearly, Marina Rodriguez can be taken down. She can be out grappled. She can be out muscled. But Jessica Andrade isn't going to fight her like that. Marina is finally getting the fight that she wants. She's going to get a stand-up fight, and in a stand-up fight, she is the much sharper, cleaner, crisper, longer straighter puncher. So I think she's going to chin Jessica Andrade. I think she'll catch her with the straight shot and drop her. I know Jessica definitely hits hard, so she definitely has a chance as well. But I don't see it. I don't know. I'm on Marina big time here, but I might be biased. I'm a big Marina fan. I just think the style is her kind of fight to lose. So Marina by knockout, I'm going to be stabbing it. What do you got?
So it's a pick 'em right now, and I think it's a bit of an overcorrection on Andrade's last fight. I believe she beat what's it called? Mackenzie Dern, right? So that's it's a little bit of an overcorrection. So the striking's in Marina's favor. If Andrade actually used her takedowns more, we would be in business here, but she doesn't. She doesn't push the wrestling enough. So if she would push the wrestling a little bit more, I would like her in this spot, but she doesn't. So in that case, if it's a Matador versus a Bull, I think that Marina can Matador her with her striking, right? So I'm going to take the Matador over the Bull in this case, and I'm going to go with Marina by decision, probably, but she might be able to finish her, like you said. Jessica likes to overcommit.
Yep. All right, moving on. We got Jalen Turner versus Renato Money Moicano. I don't even know how Renato got on this card. Obviously, he talked his way into this one. That being said, I know he was just able to win by grinding and getting some takedowns, but I think he's fucked here. I don't think he's going to get Jalen Turner down. Not that Jalen Turner is an amazing wrestler, but he fought off some shots from Gamrot. He shot out like I think he'll be fine here. I don't think Moicano is a power wrestler. Yes, he's a way better grappler. If he gets him down, he can finish him. He can tap him out. So maybe you could probably play both sides here. You could probably play a Turner knockout and a Moicano submission and probably end up winning one of those. But I'm going to say Turner knocks him out here. I'm feeling pretty good in the Turner spot here. I know he gassed before. I know he's been grinded out, but I don't think Moicano's the guy to do that here. I got Turner by knockout. What do you got?
Man, I got Moicano. I think he can take him down. I actually think he can take him down, to be honest. But it's just because it's the game plans that he's been throwing down lately. What was that last fight he had with Drew Dober? He pushed the wrestling, right? And against Brad Riddell, he pushed the scrambles, he pushed the submission. Well, it's when he gets out grappled by like a Dos Anjos that that's when he doesn't that's when he doesn't have his best. Do you think like Jalen Turner has the sort of striking like a Rafael Fiziev or the power to actually hurt Moicano like that? Moicano's tough too, right? I don't know, man.
I think Turner hits really hard, and I think Drew Dober has pretty terrible takedown defense. I think Turner will have better takedown defense. That's just I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah, Turner also got taken down by Gamrot, and I do think Moicano's wrestling is a little bit underrated. It's better than I thought it was. It's better than I thought it was going through the tape. So I'm going to take the grappler in this case because of Moicano's, I think his wrestling's getting better, and two, because he's tough as fuck. So even if he does get hit a little bit, he's going to power through it. And Jalen Turner is known to sort of break as the fight goes on. If you keep showing, he broke in that Dan Hooker fight. Right? Like, and he was right in that fight. Like, it wasn't like Dan Hooker fucking beat him up badly. I believe it was 1-1 going to third, but Hooker showed the true fighting spirit of a champion, even though he's never going to be a champion. But he showed the fighting spirit, and Jalen sort of slowed down, broke, let him take advantage of it. I don't think it's the same type of fight by any means, but I think the same thing can happen if he gets grappled. It depends, right? Like, who knows? I think the grappling is where that's where the equator is, and whoever pushes past the equator will win the fight.
All right. Moving on, we got Sadiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopes. Another strange fight for UFC 300, except for the fact that Lopes is super entertaining. This guy has a bonus in every single one of his UFC fights, including his loss, which was very close to pulling it off against Movsar Evlaev. So I love Lopes. I love the kid. I think he throws hard strikes. He's not the most technical striker. In fact, he's probably technically outmatched on the feet here. But this guy is so good at snatching submissions and just finding things. And then you got Sadiq Yusuff, who is so fucking boring. I'm so sick of this guy. Like, so many times I was trying to, like, is this guy good? Maybe should I buy into the hype? No, I don't think so. Like he starts strong. He's a strong guy. He beat the living piss out of Edson Barboza for the first round, and then he did nothing the rest of the fight and lost. So I mean, is there a world where he could keep this fight standing the whole fight and outpoint him? There's a world. There's a Sadiq Yusuff decision possibility because that's the only way he's going to win this fight. He's not going to knock out Lopes and he's not going to tap him. So you could play Sadiq by decision, and I wouldn't fault you for it. But I'm going to play Lopes to catch this guy and finish him because he finishes fights. So when Lopes wins, it's by finish. When he loses, it's by decision. So you could even play both sides there. I'm hoping Lopes pulls it off. Like I said, I could see a Sadiq decision. I hope Lopes finds it. I like the kid, so I'm on the Lopes side. What do you think?
I find Sadiq Yusuff a little boring as well. But he surprised me with the amount of volume he threw against Edson Barbosa. Mind you, most of that was in the first round, and the latter half of the latter half of the fight, he really took off, sort of. That's how he lost that fight, to be honest with you. Like Edson vetted him, and now three takedowns for Edson Barbosa. That's weird ass. That's weird ass shit, right? So, I mean, if he's gonna be able to I'm not saying Diego Lopez is gonna take him down. But at least I've seen this guy like sort of try to use wrestling and work it into his game plan. You know what I mean? I mean, he hits hard. He hits hard. And now the fight that really mimics this fight as much is the Arnold Allen versus Sadiq Yusuff fight, where Sadiq outstruck him like 47-21, but he got knocked down twice and lost the fight because he's sort of chinny. He really is sort of chinny. So, I mean, he might throw out the volume, but I think the Lopes minutes are going to be better, and the moments, sorry, the moments are going to be better. So give me Lopes and give me him by submission.
All right, I love it. Moving on, we've got Holly Holm taking on the debuting Kayla Harrison. Strange fight. The odds are super wide. Holly Holm should definitely be the favorite on the feet. And Kayla Harrison, obviously, Olympic caliber athlete here, gold medalist, should be able to take her down and bully her on the ground for 3 rounds without gassing. There's so many question marks here, though. She's cutting down. She's never cut to this weight before, ever. So is she going to gas? Is she going to make weight? No one really knows. I mean, the only time we saw her lose was to Larissa Pacheco, and Larissa actually is a very good fighter, and she still didn't get finished. It was a decision. So it's very tempting to want to stab Holly Holm, but I hate Holly Holm too. I think she's boring as hell. If she had some bigger power, at least like maybe she could catch her at some moment and catch a quick finish, but she's not going to knock her out, so she has to win more minutes. I don't know. I'm going to favor the grinder here, Kayla Harrison by decision. And I don't think it's going to be a great fight. What do you think?
I want to stab Holly Holm. I really do. I think it's a dogger pass, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying like Kayla Harrison's gonna not win, but like there's a couple things working in Holly's favor. Her 80% takedown defense, the people that she's fought in the UFC, the fact that she's only been taken down one time by Pennington, one time by Ketlin Vieira. She lost that Vieira fight where she outstruck her by 10. It was really close. So I feel like this is gonna be a close fight. Now who's gonna get the judge's rub? I don't know. I don't know if Kayla Harrison could take her down. I don't know. She's muscling girls and stuff like that. So she has to cut the weight too. So like what kind of body shape is she going to be in? She's going to look like a man. We know that much. But is she going to be like, what's the cardio going to be like? How hard is she going to have to work? These are things that you didn't see in the PFL because she never had to get down to that weight, right? She's a thick girl, huge upper body. But the striking, if you ever look at it, it leaves something to be, it's not very good. And Holly Holm should have the striking. So she's got to keep it off. Now on the feet, I think Holly, boring as fuck, but geez, I think she can have volume around the feet, man. So it's a dogger pass for me on this one. I can't get behind the minus 450 on Kayla Harrison.
I didn't realize the odds were that wide. From a betting point, it's dog or pass. From just strictly who do I think is going to win, no odds involved. I think Harrison's going to win, but all the values on Holly Holm. Moving on, we have got Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. This is a strange fight for me to predict too, man. I really need to go back and watch more of Calvin Kattar's earlier fights because in my head I'm like, I can't think of a time he was really truly like out grappled and lost by being taken down over and over and over again. I can't recall him ever being submitted. Maybe he was. I'm strictly going off my head here. I don't recall him being submitted. I don't recall him being grapple fucked. Um, so I mean, if he can keep it standing, you got to think he's got the way better hands than Aljamain Sterling. Way better hands. Maybe Sterling's got the kicks going for him or whatever, but I don't know. Like a big part of me wants to play Calvin Kattar here. Um, yeah, I got to look into that takedown defense a little bit closer. When we drop our prop video, like our betting video in a couple days, I'll give you my final answer then. But for now, I'm tempted in Calvin Kattar. What do you think?
Well, Calvin Kattar sports a 91% takedown defense in the UFC. He's only been taken down one time by, who was it again? Zabit, and one time by Fish Gold back in the day. And after that, he's the only guy that ever pushed any grappling on anyone in any fight. He's got outvolumed, but you think Sterling can outvolume him here? I don't know. It's a tough one. Odds are close, very close actually. Um, if this is a kickboxing war, which I think it's going to be, because I don't think Sterling's entries looked really shitty against O'Malley, if you really want to look at it. And like, yeah, he took down Cejudo. Was it Cejudo? I think it was
Yeah, a
Cejudo.
couple times. Yeah.
He took down Cejudo. Yeah, he took down Cejudo, but like Cejudo got right back up, and I see Kattar being able to get right back up, right? So, and he barely squeaked out a decision against fucking Triple C coming back from a 3-year layoff, right? So that was a split. I'm not saying I'm not doing any math here, but I'm just saying that if this is a kickboxing war, I've seen Calvin Kattar lose to the um, Max Holloway's kickboxing. Like those are the guys that he's losing to, right? So I don't know. I'm leaning Kattar right now. Um, but we'll see. I mean, how would Aljamain Sterling do against a guy like Josh Emmett? I mean, when he was younger, right? So like, I don't know. Aljo moved up, right, for this fight, so it's different. I'm leaning Kattar, but I'll have a more definitive answer. But I like the takedown defense, and I hate the entries that I saw in that O'Malley fight.
All right, moving on. We got a really great matchup. It's a prelim. This is crazy. We got former light heavyweight champion Yuri Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic coming right back from his injury where he blew out his leg. Um, this is a crazy dangerous fight for Alexander to come back in. Now he is the far more technical fighter, throws crazy hard leg kicks, which Yuri clearly didn't look like he could check very well against Alex. Like Alex almost dropped him with leg kicks. Like he was close to finishing him with leg kicks. So Alexander's, I'm sure, took notes of that, and he should be able to do the same thing. But he's coming back from an injury, hasn't fought in God knows how long. He can be low output. And you got to think he's going to be tentative and maybe like a little bit gun shy, a little bit scared after all this time off. And he's fighting a madman who will not allow him to settle into that point fighting pace. Because in a point fighting sparring match, I think Ratchet would kill him all day. But when you have a madman like Yuri, it changes everything. It changes absolutely everything. I do. Yeah, fuck, I don't know, man. Before I saw the odds, I really wanted to play Ratchet, but he looks like he's close to a minus 200 favorite, which is kind of crazy. Um, dangerous fight for him. From a fan's perspective, I think it's a great match. It's going to answer everything. If Rakic wins, he should fight Ankalaev for the next shot. Or the winner of this fight should probably fight Ankalaev for the next title shot. I am going to take. This pains me to say because I don't like Ratchet's style at all. But I'm going to say he gets it done. But I hope like hell Yuri knocks him out. I want the Yuri knockout, but I'm going to take Rakic. What do you think?
Ratchet, eh? So I was looking back at his record. I was looking back at his fights. Like he wins unanimous decisions, but you said something about low volume. Like aside from a fight where he threw 75 strikes against Volkan Ozdemir and still lost a split decision, you're looking at 44, and how much did he throw against Santos? 36, 27 against Jan. I mean, these are bad numbers, man. And Yuri, he finishes fights. We know that. But when he's going the distance like he did against, like, almost against Glover, we're looking at 120. 77 against Reyes, and that was only the second round, right? So the volume is clearly in Yuri's, and but like we did see that he didn't check the leg kicks. But Rakic is coming off a pretty shitty leg injury, to be honest with you, right? So, how hard is he going to be able to throw those leg kicks? Is it a mental thing? I don't know. Is he going to throw? How many leg kicks is he going to throw? Did Yuri train? Is Yuri training for these leg kicks? He obviously knows it's a little bit part of screw part of his game, right? So, I don't know. But if this is going to be standing, if they're going to strike it any like for any amount of time, I think Yuri's the guy. I think he's going to throw more volume. So I'm leaning Yuri. I'm leaning Yuri by knockout. Rakic, the layoff is killing me here. Yuri does sport a pretty good takedown defense, about 70%. Rakic is known to take guys down and grind them out. I don't think he can do that here because at least Yuri off his back. You saw in the Glover fight, he was pretty good off his back, right? When he got to those places and he got out of those problem spots. So he showed me that he's not going to just lay down like Walter Walker did today on the ground. So what a fraud. Anyway, but yeah, I'm leaning Yuri. I'm gonna take dog or pass on this one. The 3 year layoff is really messing with me.
All right, guys, moving on to the main card. If you haven't already, please like, please subscribe. We do appreciate it. Fantastic opener. We got Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. I've never wanted Charles Oliveira to win so much in my life. I think Arman is a little bit douchey, to be honest, like the way he comes across. But that being said, I do think Arman's going to knock him out. I know I said that I think about Beneil too, and obviously look how that played out. But Beneil is chinny. Arman hasn't really shown that at all. I think he's going to starch Oliveira. Um, the thing is like I'm not buying into Arman's last knockout of he's like this knockout artist. I'm not. So don't I'm not overrating his striking or anything like that. I just think when Charles loses, he loses. Like and I respect him and love him for that. He's a guy who fights balls to the walls. He's kill or be killed. So I love Charles Oliveira, but I think he's going to get killed here. I think he's going to get knocked out. That's just me personally. What do you think?
Well, I think Arman will use the wrestling to grind him a little bit before he like puts any pressure on him. See, Arman's got some nasty wrestling, right? And you know, as much as I love Charles, Arman's going to be able to take him down, and Charles has been known to break, right? So Arman's got a pretty decent amount of takedowns in the UFC. So let's see, he knocking out Bini Darush. I'm not going to read into that, but like 4 against Joaquim Silva, 7 against Ismagulov. Gamrot got him down, so that was a little bit weird. But he got Alvarez down, got 10 on Favola, so you know he's going to wrestle this guy. Now Oliveira, you know, he's only going to sports a 55% takedown defense. That's because he doesn't give a shit about getting taken down, right? Because he doesn't mind playing off his back. It's a dangerous game to play, especially with a guy like Arman Tsarukyan, who I believe that this guy his only loss is a unanimous decision against Gamrot and one against Makhachev. He's never been tapped in the UFC. Um, so what makes me think that he's going to get tapped here off of his back in men's MMA, right? So I think it just breaks him, just kind of like how Makhachev took him down and broke him that way. Everyone said, "Oh, Makhachev, Islam's not going to want to play with him on the ground." He didn't give a shit, right? When you're stronger than him, you're stronger than him. I think if he wants to play around in the striking realm too much here, then Charles can knock him the fuck out, right? I think Charles might have the better hands here. So I don't think Arman should play too much on the kickboxing side of the things. I think he should work his way to get it down to the ground. And I think he's good enough in his jits, good enough with his power wrestling on top, that he can take him down and just, you know, grind him to the third round, and Charles breaks by then. So maybe a third round stoppage, see what that prop is when that shot comes. So yeah, Arman by wrestling.
All right, moving on. We have got the undefeated Bo Nickal, who somehow name power carried him into the main card, and he is taking on Cody Brundage. Cody Bumbage. The guy is not very good. He did. I mean, every now and then Cody puts on a decent performance. He's a decent wrestler, so maybe they're finally saying, "Oh, maybe he can stuff a takedown and force Bo Nickal to strike." But honestly, Bo Nickal would probably outstrike him too. So I still think Bo Nickal's going to take him down. I still think Bo Nickal's going to tap him out. Brundage has been tapped before. Give me Bo Nickel to finish like he always does. Just a matter of round one or round two. What do you think?
Bo Nickel round one. Minus 2,000 sucks. But yeah, I mean, they put him on the main card. This is a showcase fight for Bo. Like, I don't see it any other way but a showcase fight for Nickel, right? The UFC knows what they got. Otherwise, they would have given him a better shot, like a better competitor, right? So I don't know what the props are, but yeah, Bo doesn't really usually mess around with these low level guys, right? I'm waiting till he fights someone of note. So yeah, I'm not too interested in this price tag. I'm not too interested in this fight, to be honest. I just see
Yeah.
both skills are better than, so Cody Brundage is a good wrestler and Bo Nickal's a better wrestler.
Yeah. No need to break it down too much further than that.
But I feel like, and they both wrestle. Bo likes to stand up when, you know what? I feel like if anyone ever threatened him on the feet when he's trying to stand up, he's just gonna go to his wrestling, right? Like, he doesn't seem like he's a dumb guy and he wants to win. So,
Yeah, he actually comes across pretty intelligent. Like I think he knows what he's doing.
yeah, so he wants to win. And he knows that these fights, he's his showcase fights to get those bigger fights, right? So he's gonna have to use something on Cody Bum or whatever. Cody. Beat his ass. That's what he's gonna do.
All right, moving on. We've got the baddest motherfucker fight. We got Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway for their made-up belt here. I already know I'm going to catch a ton of shit for this, and I've posted all over SureDog too, and a lot like seems like nobody wants to give Holloway a chance. Well, I'm taking Max Holloway, and I know everyone's going to call me crazy. Listen, he's not Tony Ferguson. Everyone thinks this guy's about to take the biggest beating of his life. I don't think that's going to happen personally. Obviously, Justin Gaethje, great leg kicks, and he has the power advantage for sure. I'm not disputing that. He has the wrestling background, but Max Holloway's, I actually think, is the better grappler. Like, I don't think there's going to be any takedowns. I don't think there's going to be any grappling. Holloway's never been fucking grapple fucked. It's not going to happen here. They're going to stand and they're going to trade. Is Justin Gaethje going to chop his leg up? Maybe. But Justin Gaethje, when he loses, it's the guys who come forward. Like if you let him settle down and get into like a tit for tat contest, he's gonna beat you because he hits harder. It always happens. But anytime you fucking give this guy tons of pressure, he crumbles, he breaks, he's kind of chinny. So I got Holloway with the better chin, the better hands, the better volume, the better pressure. And I know probably not you, probably not anyone, and I don't care. That's great. I'm on Max Holloway. I think the odds are good. You're getting almost plus 200 on him, so I will be playing it. And because it's 5 rounds, I don't think Justin Gaethje can go 5 rounds. I don't think his chin holds up, and I don't think he's getting tapped out. I mean, Holloway does have some decent chokes actually, but still, I still don't think it. I'm going to be sprinkling Max Holloway by knockout as a single, not a parlay piece, not a super confident pick, but I think that aggressive come forward volume will break Justin Gaethje's chin. He's been wobbled so many times. He's always on skates. I think Holloway's going to get him. That's just my take. What do you think?
So Gaethje, so how did, excuse me, so how does he win fights? His volume sometimes is pretty good against Fiziev, 103.97 with a takedown. That's good. I don't think he's taking down Max. Against Poirier, he knocked him out, outstruck at 41.27. Not bad. 116 against 103 against Michael Chandler. Not bad. But Holloway is the realm of volume is like when Max Holloway fought Dustin Poirier at this weight, it was 181 to 178. That is what they threw. Poirier had to throw a hell of a lot more uh punches than 103. So, you know, I don't know if Justin Gaethje can match volume with him. Can he? Now, Max's chin has held up his entire UFC career. Justin Gaethje knocks guys out. That's his thing. What happens when the knockout doesn't come? He'll tire. I don't know if he wilts. I won't say that he wilts, but he'll tire. Like when the first thing doesn't work for Gaethje, what happens, right? So that's the thing, right? Against Khabib, it's it wasn't working, and he sort of gave up that takedown. It looked kind of lazy on Khabib's part, to be honest with you. He had Charles on skates, and he gave up the rear naked choke or the choke, sorry. And you know, I don't know, man. I'm kind of with you on this Holloway thing, but I kind of like Holloway by decision, to be honest with you. I do think this can go 5 rounds. I do think this can go, and I do think it's good. I think it has war written all over it, and I think it mimics sort of Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier in some way. So, I mean, as long as Max's chin holds up, this fight's way closer than fucking minus 225 plus 187, right? So,
Well, that's my whole thing is Max's chin will hold up, I believe. And I don't know. Gaethje 5 rounds. I don't think he's going to outpoint him for a full 5 rounds. At some point, he's going to get rocked. And I don't know. Yeah, who knows? That's what I think. We'll see. Moving on, co-main event. We got Weili Zhang versus Yonan Chan. Sorry, Chanan Yan. I don't know how the hell you pronounce her name.
oh
You know
yeah,
who she is. She's the boxing Asian. I love the girl. I pick her all the time. I told the world she was going to knock out Andrade. I think she's fucking wicked on the feet. I think if Zhang Weili or Weili Zhang can't get the takedown quick, I think she will get knocked out again because I always like Yan. Now I know everybody is going to point to she got taken down and finished, which is a terrible look by Carla Esparza. Terrible, terrible look. Carla Esparza doesn't finish anybody. That was a long time ago. She's been working at Team Alpha Male. Her takedown defense has looked incredibly better. Is it amazing? No, but it has looked a lot better. Now, listen, I am not going to be betting this right away or beforehand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have it preloaded in my thing for her to win by knockout because I think that's her only win condition. She's not going to win a decision. She's not going to submit Zhang. I'm going to have it preloaded for a Yan knockout, which is probably going to hit like plus 600. I'm not going to place it. I'm just going to have it ready because I want to see if she can stuff the takedown. The second I see her stuff a takedown, I'm going to hit it as a single. Or if she gets taken down right away, I'm going to go abort, 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 not placing it again. Because if she gets taken down, yes, if she gets taken down with ease, she's going to lose the fight. But if she can stuff those takedowns, I think she would knock Zhang Weili out. That's what I personally think. Now, I know Zhang is a freak athlete. I like her too. No disrespect to her. If she gets the takedowns, she wins the fight. If she doesn't get the takedowns, she gets knocked out. What do you think?
Zhang likes to use the wrestling though. That's the problem.
She does, for sure, for
She
sure.
likes to push it on, especially okay. So like Lemos was her last fight, and she did not want to stand with her because you know you run the risk of Amanda Lemos cracking you, right? So what you do, push the wrestling. Is she gonna push that pace on Jan? I don't know how good Jan's defense really is. I mean, she's got against Mackenzie Dern, she gave up 2 takedowns. And we're talking about a Mackenzie Dern that has a 10% takedown accuracy in the UFC, and she has the worst entries in the fucking world. And I know she won that fight because she's tenacious. And Mackenzie Dern isn't tenacious in that sense, except that last fight where she was tenacious, which is weird. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Like, so I think Zhang, the equalizer here is I think the wrestling is going to work, and we've seen Zhang hang out on top for 5 rounds and beat the shit out of guys. I don't see Jan giving up. I don't see Jan wilting under the pressure. I don't see her breaking like a Charles Oliveira, right? But you know, at some point, I fucking felt that Lemos fight should have been stopped. But whatever. That's me. I'm gonna take Zhang. I'm gonna take Zhang by over 2.5 because I think it goes a little bit later than that. And yeah, Zhang's a pick. I really like Weili here. I think her ground game is much better.
Wow, way better. If she gets her down, she wins this fight. And it's funny you just said you like the over 2.5, and nothing wrong with that. Or I was going to say I might look for some kind of inside the distance, like just under, because I think if Zhang gets her down and can take her down easily, I think she'll finish her on the ground. And if she can't, I think she gets finished. Like either way, I think we're finally going to see a women's finish. That's what I think.
Maybe. I'm not too straight. I'm not too straight about the over 2.5, but I'm really good on Wiley. I really like her in this spot.
Yep. All right, moving on to the main event. We've got Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. What are you shaking your head at?
It's a tough one, actually.
It is. Honestly, guys, flip a fucking coin because trust me, like I love Alex Pereira, and nothing would make me happier than him to knock out Sweet Dreams Jamal Hill. Nothing would make me happier. But to be honest, I feel like I gotta bet Jamal Hill by knockout here. Like I don't know, man. I haven't seen Hill chinned. We have seen Alex chinned. Alex obviously would be smart to use the leg kicks here because I think he could chew up his lead leg. Especially Hill is always like that skinny fat guy. So like, who knows how he's gonna react to a bunch of leg kicks and shit. You know what I mean? So I think Alex would be smart to chop the legs, and he's got to catch him. Somebody's getting knocked out. All the unders are live. Whoever wins is gonna be by knockout. I know Hill and Glover went 5 rounds or whatever, and that was kind of shocking in itself. but this is not going 5 rounds. Like I don't think this is going 3 rounds. I I like the under three, and I like all both sides for the knockout. Love them both. Rooting for Alex. I might bet Jamal Hill because I think he's the underdog, I believe, the last I looked. So
Yes.
the value would be on him, I guess. If the line flips or anything, like, I could go back and forth. I would take the value because I think either guy can knock each other out. And I will be happy to lose my money if Alex knocks out Jamal Hill. But I think Jamal Hill is very live to knock out Alex. And I think it's going to be fairly quick. What do you think?
If there wasn't a layoff, if there wasn't an injury, and if this fight was on time, you'd have to favor Hill in this spot. Alex, as good as a kickboxer he really is, I find him to be a little bit too
Low
cautious.
volume.
Yeah. A little bit too cautious when he's throwing. And mind you, the shit is wickedly efficient. Don't get me wrong. The strikes are technical, wickedly efficient, but like against Jamal's shown the dog, right, in him, right? And he's been hit too. He got hit in the Glover fight, even though he out hit Glover like 200 to something. He got hit in the Thiago Santos fight, taken down 6 times, and still was able to push through that. Now, like Alex isn't gonna push fucking 4 takedowns on Jamal Hill, not a stinking chance. But what's there to say that Jamal Hill won't push some sort of tiny bit of wrestling on Alex? Like he lost that Paul Craig fight because he wanted to sit in Paul Craig's fucking guard. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, that was like a little bit of a fight IQ mistake, but whatever. I mean, I think he's learned from that shit. And but like taking down Alex Pereira, if he was doing any type of wrestling training, wouldn't be the worst idea in the world either. I seen Jan Blankovic take him down and hold him down for pretty much a full round, right? Even that fight was close. You gotta, aside from the Alex finishes, a lot of those fights that he's been in have been razor thin, right? So Alex against Yuri, he was he caught Yuri, but against Blankovic, I feel like that was a close fight. And the one he got knocked out by Israel, he got on the feet. It was weird because Israel sort of played possum and he went for it, right? And then boom. So he can be chinned by a shot. And Jamal Hill has shown us on more than one occasion that he can come back in a fight and, knock a guy out. What was it? I believe he was losing that OSP fight and he knocked him out in the second round. And, Jamal Hill sometimes a slow starter, but this being 5 rounds actually might work in his favor. And we really haven't seen the Alex Pereira being like elongated out, right? You know what I mean? Like, what if Jamal Hill finished Thiago Santos after getting rambunced by 6 takedowns in the fourth round, right? So
Well, we saw Alex win knockout Izzy in the fifth after losing 3-1.
yeah, that's true too. But he's such a weird guy. He looks gassed all the time, but he's not gassed. He's like Miles Jones 2.0. But anyways, I think I lean Jamal Hill. The layoff has me down. I might flip. I've been back and forth on this fight for 2 weeks. So for now, I like Hill skill. I want to see what he looks like. I want to see what he looks like, right? Because I feel like cardio plays a big part in this fight.
And I just think durability's got to be a big one in this fight. And until you see Jamal Hill knocked out, which we haven't, you got to give him the durability edge.
I agree.
All right, guys, there you have it. Those are our early predictions. This is a huge card, so we are 100% going to drop another video. I think Wednesday night, I think props come out Wednesday, so Wednesday night we will have our bet show with our favorite bets for every fight on the card. We'll put together some good parlays for this one too, and we'll post those. Wicked card. There's no way you guys can complain about this one. The last few UFCs, been garbage. Some of these fight nights, terrible. This card, top to bottom, you don't want to miss it. The prelims are great. I always watch from fight 1 till fight 13 or whatever, but like no doubt about it. The first fight of the night, Gradbrandt and Figueiredo, awesome fight. Like I can't wait for it. And drop us a comment. Let us know what you agree with, what you disagree with, and we'll see you Wednesday for the next one. Have a good one.